To be honest, I'm not a fan of Teen Titans Go. I grew up watching the original 2003 Teen Titans series, so when Teen Titans Go came out and it was more focused on silly potty humor, I was less than enthusiastic. As the series went on, more and more people began to direct all anger towards anything ever about it. We're talking problems with other cartoons, phone bills, marriages, and even the wrong order at McDonald's. Eventually, it got to the point where useless petitions were even being made to cancel the show altogether. To this day, there is still a wide opinion on the internet that Teen Titans Go is probably the worst show on Cartoon Network. However, on August 28th, 2014, the episode titled Slumber Party would air, and it would introduce a song known as The Night Begins to Shine. And little did both the writers of the show know, or they knew all along and they played us like a fiddle, that this song would simply become the gateway to making an entire subsection of episodes. So, without further ado, this is The Night Begins to Shine Cinematic Universe.
I'm bringing the butter, I'm turning my brain. Talking about stuff I love, yeah, that's my game. I'm bringing the butter, so pop some corn. Sit back and relax, cause you want more.
On October 21st, 2015, Cartoon Network released the special 40%, 40%, 20%. In the episode, Cyborg is obsessed with a song known as The Night Begins to Shine, which takes inspiration from the 80s style of songwriting. Cyborg annoys the other Titans with this song, constantly saying that he cannot function without it. But Robin is being a dick, like always, and no one wants to humor Cyborg even when they are all bored and or in danger, and they refuse to acknowledge that the song is good. However, when the other Titans eventually do decide to listen to the song, things begin to go bonkers. Suddenly, they are all transformed into cool-looking rock stars in a new art style and are transported off to a far planet, speeding along on high-tech vehicles. The animation director, Peter Ritta Mitchell, went nuts with the visuals with this episode, taking inspiration from album covers and TV shows of the 80s, like Transformers.
We get it. You like Transformers.
Sorry. Yeesh. You make one bad retrospective and suddenly you're public enemy number 5. Anyways, the episode was well received by viewers and critics and even dislikers. This episode has an 8.3 out of 10 stars on IMDb, making it the highest rated episode of Teen Titans Go on IMDb. And honestly, it deserves it. The episode was a lot of fun, showing that even a show regarded as stinky like Teen Titans Go can put out a banger now and then. So what do you do when you have a popular episode that's even your harshest critics like? Milk it for all it's worth. It's sequel time, baby! This sequel episode trilogy has probably one of the longest titles ever. The Day the Night Stopped Beginning to Shine and Became Dark Even Though It Was the Day. Amateurs. This episode, just like the first, has its moments of 80s rockstar animation style with the Titans returning to the land of Night Begins to Shine, but being interrupted by a new villain, a giant talking dragon. If people who have a keen eye will notice, it is the same dragon on the cover of the cassette tape that Cyborg shows in 40%, 40%, 20%. God, I need new hobbies. After this talking dragon comes in and, well, talks, he steals the cassette containing Night Begins to Shine and traps Cyborg in the world alone, while the other Titans are sent back to the real world. And he uses the magical properties to transform the world into his own image, revealing to us the viewers that he originally ruled the land, but BER, the creators of Night Begins to Shine, came and used the song to restore the world to what it was originally like. So, it is up to the other Titans to recruit other song artists like Fall Out Boy and CeeLo Green to come in and do cross-promotion. Oh yeah, and save Cyborg, too. Beast Boy is also doing his best to find the original creators of Night Begins to Shine as well, so they can create a new song to beat the dragon, which, by the way, is also a pretty good banger. This episode, just like 40%, 40%, 20%, uses a lot of 80s imagery reminiscent of Daft Punk, Thomas Banghauer, and Voltron.
You fool. Nobody thinks of 80s Voltron when you say Voltron. They think of that Netflix show with the bad fandom.
Well, it was an 80s show first, and I'm tired of pretending it's the only Voltron and should represent the entire franchise. Anyway, This episode was a lot of fun, and it's clear that Teen Titans Go knows its audience for better or for worse. This episode received between 7.7 out of 10 stars to 8.010 stars on IMDb, meaning that these episodes were well received. But believe it or not, this episode is not the last time we see Night Begins to Shine. For in 2020, a 5-part special event would be released on July 10th, known as The Night Begins to Shine 2. You're the One. Sadly, the magic of the 80s neon was wearing off, as while it still had a representable score on IMDb, with 7.5 out of 10 stars being its highest rated, and the lowest rated being 6.0 out of 10 stars, it is sadly the lowest rated of the episode series we have talked about today. I personally liked it myself, as it introduced more lore into the Night Begins to Shine cinematic universe, revealing that BER actually had 4 original members in it, not 3. And the 4th member became obsessed with power that they gained from creating the song Night Begins to Shine. So he trapped himself in this world so one day he could come back and conquer it. So Titans have to go out and find 3 relics to use and summon BER. The only real criticism I have was that it was rather slow, and probably because they had to stretch the story out to 5 episodes as opposed to 1 or 4. So the action only really picks up near the end, but other than that, I thought it was pretty good. So after all that blabbing, what do you guys think? Is the Night Begins to Shine cinematic universe something worth value? Did Teen Titans Go find its true calling in making episodes within the Night Begins to Shine cinematic universe? Personally, I think that while Cartoon Network and their creators of Teen Titans Go clearly did their homework and knew what we wanted to see, it was still only a small special thing. Teen Titans Go has many flaws. That's been made clear tons and tons of times. However, every now and then, we still get gems like Night Begins to Shine. The song, Night Begins to Shine, is available on iTunes, Google, and anywhere else you can buy music. Hashtag not sponsored, but please sponsor me because I like money.